took him a long time, but he was so committed. I have to wonder what drove him. I've read his book, Through the Water Barrier, several times. He describes very clearly his emotions and how he feels about taking on the challenge. Donald Campbell was a great man. What he did, breaking the world water speed record, was incredible. I'm determined on this journey to get a sense of what it must have been like back then. We have got a lovely groundswell of people interested in the car. It is very special. Donald Campbell had the car in 1955. He was using it as his daily runaround. This car has changed my life. I'm on this journey. It's introduced me to so many things. I've been down this road before. Wherever it takes me, I know it's going to be exciting and thrilling. This time, a dream has been fulfilled.
We like change, we like special guests, we like visitors. We've moved Donald Campbell's Land Rover out the way for it. There's a large window that fills the middle and the doors open from the edges. And the Land Rover just snuck out. We had to move the tyres slightly. But yes, it was designed so that we could get the vehicles out. You know, a customer walks in and there's something new, something they've not seen before, something different. We're all twiddling our thumbs and getting a bit nervous and excited about seeing the Asika arrive. For this summer, Mr. Shillings kindly loaned us his lovely AC Asika, which he refers to as Bluebird, because it was used by Donald Campbell back in 1954 and 55. That car is special to him. He's really appreciative of where the car's taken him. And I think he's pleased that the car's brought him up to the lake the motor is in. I like cars from the late 40s, early 50s, and that's a really special car. It's just got that lovely swooping roofline, and it's just a glorious, beautiful car. There's a knack, isn't there? I haven't quite calmed down yet. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
You look at home in that.
Well, you see, I have an XK120 fixed head coupe project. It's a bit like sitting in there, isn't it? At 6'2" and 16-ish stone, I might be a little bit bigger than you're meant to be, but I made sure I got in. And yeah, it's lovely in there.
Oh, I'm just overwhelmed. It's awesome. I never really expected this to happen. And there it is. Look at that, eh?
Yeah. Wow.
That's my car. I've thought about it for so long. To walk in here to see my car in amongst all this Campbell memorabilia, it's absolutely brilliant.
I think it's fair to say he's not a massive classic car man. He's not got 20 or 30 of them. It's just nice to chat with another fellow enthusiast. So we took Donald Campbell's Series 1 Land Rover away to make space for her.
Yeah.
For the 2 months she's here. And she's been turning some heads.
And people have been signing the book.
They've been signing the book.
I just love reading the comments in the book. You've got comments in that book from all over the world. I mean, somebody from Saudi Arabia has made a lovely comment. You've come from Saudi Arabia and you know about Donald Campbell?
Some of the gentlemen from the local car club come and we had to open the bonnet, obviously. They had a proper inspection. The 1967 K7 replica.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
That one was built by the BBC for the film Across the Lake.
Yes.
And so for years, when the original was still underwater, we've had a Campbell Bluebird display telling the history. This floated and they had a little outboard motor in the back, so they could manoeuvre it away from the pier and they could keep it in place. But again, they coloured in original footage of it racing down the lake.
When I first got close to it, it's quite humbling to think that Donald Campbell sat in a cockpit like that and was in control of a really powerful beast. I was surprised at the size of K7. It's certainly bigger and more imposing than I expected it to be. For the technology that was available at that time, I think it's supersonic. It's a great design.
When we first opened in 1978, everyone knew the name Donald Campbell. It was only 11 years after he died, and so the museum's founder, Mr. Sidebottom, he loved collecting both things about Malcolm and Donald Campbell. It's a special year this year, 70 years since Donald Campbell broke his first world water speed record on Ullswater by doing 202 miles per hour.
Donald Campbell was a fantastic guy. He achieved so much, and I think we should be celebrating it with badges and roundels on cars. You know, back in 1955, people were very proud of what Britain achieved. They'd come through the Second World War, and people like Donald Campbell were a great inspiration to the public. They look at him and they see what he's doing for British engineering. You know, it's pretty incredible.
So we're now telling people the backstory of how he got to where he was, trying to break that 300 record, and also his father's record-breaking racing at Brooklands, and all that history and heritage. It spans the world, really. As well as 70 years of Donald Campbell's water speed record, it's 100 years of Malcolm Campbell breaking 150 miles an hour on pending.
Yeah.
And so I tell people he was the first man past 150. So that's the Bluebird 5 1935 car, built for the BBC film Speed Kings with Robert Hardy starring as Malcolm Campbell, all the way back in 1978. Arrows are long and thin because they want to go in a straight line. And so as his car got faster over the 5 types of car, he got longer, and that's to increase the stability at speed. They towed it behind a Volvo with the boot lid open on it. They covered a runway with salt and towed it at really low speed, but the fast shots were all done using original footage.
Is that how they did it?
Yeah, we've got some black and white pictures somewhere of this. I think it's either Volvo 145 like we've got in the main museum or an early 240. So you've got both flags. You've got the Union Jack for built in Britain and the Stars and Stripes because the attempts in America. And then we have to make a special flag because normally when a flag's there, the Union Jack was used as a distress signal when it's upside down, but we have to show the back of the flag because normally you assume the flagpole's on the left.
That's right.
And so we make a special one because the flagpole's on the right.
I asked him lots of questions. I've got lots more. He's got so much information, and there's so much going on here. There's so many wonderful things on display.
This is Leo Villa's camera bag, and these were all from his private collection that was auctioned after his death.
He's quite a character in his own right, really, because he was with Sir Malcolm and then with Donald.
Well, he called him Uncle, didn't he? Unk.
That's right. He did.
So he's a family member, really, by that point. So CN7s, and all the way back to Malcolm Campbell put his name to things like crockery. There's some official Malcolm Campbell's crockery here, as well as the non-official things like Bluebird toffee, some of Malcolm Campbell's racing gloves.
Where are the gloves? Where?
Just over here to your right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. And in this little oval is one of his lucky Bluebird pins.
Wow, that's brilliant. What I like about going back in time and seeing what has been before is you can learn from it. So how was that retrieved?
It was recovered from the lake soon after the crash.
All right, was it? Okay.
And then a small piece of the wreckage also recovered at the time by the Navy divers. The album's there. Kevin's kindly loaned us the book of photographs that Donald Campbell gave to Leo Villa. Well, it's just a unique thing, isn't it? It's a lovely set of photographs. So it's a very personal gift from one man to another, showing the appreciation for all the hard work gone into the record.
He took his time writing the message to Leo and to give it to him at Christmas. That says a lot about Donald Campbell. I was looking for a photograph of my car with Donald Campbell. So I thought, well, if I buy the album, there's bound to be something in there. You know, it's 1955. It's all about the water speed record. My car isn't in the album. The reason I wanted it here was a bit like the car. I want people to see it.
So, welcome to the Motor Museum's main building.
Wow.
We've been here 15 years. It's mostly in chronological order, so you start at 1899, and then they get younger. 1913 Star from Wolverhampton. The first owner was a German, so he was interred during the First World War. Really? And then the car was locked away in a barn and discovered much later.
Gosh. And then you've got the Citroen here. God, yeah. Look at this. That's old starter handle.
So that's a Type A. Again, after First World War, they've got a massive factory, loads of workers. What do? You've made armaments, let's make our first car. And then because his grandfather had sold citrus fruits, and so he made them lemon yellow. So that a teacher at school put the 2 dots over the E to slightly change the pronunciation. This little Fiat, she's an accessory from the Halfords catalogue.
Really?
This is nickel plate.
Yeah.
Because it's 29. You don't get chrome until 1930, so she's a little bit later.
Yeah.
And she just unscrews. And then you can fill up your fresh water in the morning and go about your day. And then there's drain cocks at the bottom of the engine, and it all drains out.
What size engine is this?
Oh, she's only little. She's like 1,500 cc, something like that. Little 4-cylinder.
I've got friends of mine who have wonderful cars, which they wrap up in cocoons. Nobody ever sees them. Here, you can see real motor cars. The whole setup is absolutely amazing.
And then you might recognise this bright blue thing.
Yeah, look at this. Wow.
So Donald Campbell's 1937 Bentley 4 1/4, Park Ward body. And he owned this when he lived in the Reigate Hill Hotel whilst having K4 return to piston power from the jet engine.
With a personalised...
Yes,
Bluebird.
so it came to us without a mascot. This is either Swift or meant to represent Bluebird.
Yeah.
Your bonnet mascot, you have to turn her so that you can shut the bonnet, otherwise her tail just catches the paintwork. And then the thing I like about it is the steering column. You've got the outer, the second tube is the one that turns the wheels, and then there's 4 more tubes, and they all do things mechanically, but you're doing this from the steering wheel. So if you just come round and have a look in the window, you can see that one of those 4 silver discs.
Oh, yeah, you've got the knobs on there, yeah.
So I had a great chat with Kevin, especially talked about Donald Campbell's Bentley, got him sat inside. Oh, we've got a Penguin Guide to the Lake District sat on the seat, but you can move that and get yourself in.
Oh,
and get
smell.
in.
Oh, smell that car. Oh.
Well, to be fair, we've had the windows shut a while. He looked really comfy in that driver's seat. He's got the Asika, but I think maybe he'll be wanting a Bentley next.
Oh, this is wonderful. So Donald Campbell sat here. Absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you what, Chris, this is absolutely amazing. It's so exciting. There's so many, my emotions are all over the place just to think, you know, Donald Campbell drove this car. Gosh.
One of the things about cars is the smell. So when you get that door open and you can smell the leather and the wool carpet, and you're sitting in and you get the door closed, and it sort of it envelops you.
You know, when I sat in Campbell's Bentley and you could smell the cigar smoke, you know, gosh, you could almost hear him breathing. It's just awesome.
Kevin, here's 50p to set off this machine.
Yeah, I love that.
So from the Bentley, we've also got Donald Campbell's Land Rover.
Oh, yeah. 1954, same year as my car.
Just stayed at home, run around for the gardener, you know, off to get parts, whatever he needed to do. So yeah, it's still with him when he passed away. So it's a 54 car.
Are you still using it then?
Yeah. We bought it way back in like 1990. So it's had a quick lick of blue paint, just because it was Donald Campbell's for the auction. But yeah, it's green everywhere else. Still green in the back, still green inside.
Oh yeah.
Still green under the bonnet. So yeah. And there's your spare tyres. You know, he took the CN7 round Goodwood. So
and these are the original tyres, aren't they?
Yeah. So this one at the front.
Yeah.
Has Goodwood 7, and so it's one of the spare tyres to be used at Goodwood.
It's like going back in time. School children, when they come here, youngsters, when they come here, they must be overwhelmed by it all. It's worthwhile reflecting. I never expected to be emotional, but when I was being shown all the different aspects of Campbell and the different vehicles, it made me swell up a little bit. You can learn from it. And I think that's what Donald Campbell did, actually, looking at what his father did, what his father achieved, and how he was then able to move things forward. Jet-propelled engine, and then there's a jet engine. It's embracing technology. It's very emotional. To me, when you see the mangled wreckage of K7 that's been brought up from the bottom of Coniston, and you see what water has done. I mean, it's been mangled, twisted and ripped apart by the force of water.
Fate was to strike. Great Britain mourns the loss of a great man, Donald Campbell.
So goodness knows what the water did to his body. It must have ripped his body apart. So this car is British. It's 70 years old. It's got the original engine in it. I like to understand what's going on. I want to know what's happening. It's obviously taken a lot of planning. It's quite humbling, actually, seeing how this all sort of hangs together, how it all operates. These people are committed to motor cars. They're committed to the Campbell traditions, and it's great to see it. It started fine. It's got a lovely sound to it. I just love being back in the car. Yeah, it's great. What I don't want to do is crash the car. Because it's aluminium, it can be so easy to damage it. I just want to go somewhere. I just want to go fast somewhere. I'm not the right person for everyone. I like to be in control, behind the steering wheel. Yeah, love it all, yeah. That's me, just, you know. I didn't know what an ACS Seeker was when I bought it. I didn't know that much about Donald Campbell. When I drive my little car, people come alongside me, slow down to take photographs. I think driving around the Lake District is going to be interesting, possibly even challenging. I'm looking forward to going to Ullswater and experiencing the sensation of standing there, watching the waters flow and just going back to 1955. Because where I'm driving is where Donald Campbell would have driven the car. But there are no hills that are insurmountable for my little car.
This car is a 1954 ACS Seeker. It was the Earls Court Motor Show car, prototype version. Shortly afterwards, Donald Campbell purchased it. The engine was changed. Donald Campbell specifically requested a Bristol engine, so that was fitted into the vehicle and it stayed in the car ever since. The current owner is keen to restore it back to the same specification that Donald had it in 1954. So we've gone to great lengths and pains to extract exactly the right paint code for this car that was actually taken from a sample piece of material from the Bluebird K7. Bill was very kind to supply us with some original fragments of that paint as well, ground into a fine powder, added into the new paint, and they actually exist in the first layer of new paint that went on the car. It's nice just to say this car does have some original paint on it, so it's just a nice little story to go with the car, really. Well, this came in black, and the owner had it for a couple of years whilst it was black, and he enjoyed it. It came in for regular service work. It ended up being a complete restoration back to bare metal, because there comes a point when you can't half do something. You're committed, then you have to see it through.
My story is about the car. I bought this car not really knowing what I was doing. It caught my eye. There's nothing wrong with that. And this is a moment that will make you laugh. Nice to meet you. When I bought the car, I thought, well, my plan was to actually race it. I'd been up to Silverstone, I'd been to a boutique and I've got all the racing gear, boots and the helmet and everything. I'm going round And it would have been on my third lap that bits started falling off it, the wing mirror. And the wipers, it was pouring with rain, and the wipers just flew off. And then I got a black flag. They brought me in and they said, bits are falling off your car, you've got to get them sorted out. And this guy turned up with a bit of exhaust. I'd made a stupid mistake. Should have had the car thoroughly checked over by a professional. I had all the gear, but I didn't have the car. And I looked at the business. I was driving it through Petersfield one day and a guy tapped on the window and said, "This your car?" I said, "Well, I'm driving it, I hope so." I mean, I drove to the car showroom in a bright, brand new blue Bentley. Yes. The guy said to me, "Oh, that's a nice car." He said, "Aston Martin looked good alongside that." So I learned a lot. And I wrote this book, which actually sets out all the mistakes I made. The book is called Reckless because I didn't know what I was doing. I've learnt the hard way, I guess, the expensive way of how to buy a classic car and how to get it restored and how to race it. When I got the car back from JSW, it really was a treat because they'd done such a great job on it. The car was just so reliable, so solid. I took it for a run and it was just awesome. It was so great. I was taking bends maybe faster than I should have done. Cornering was brilliant. Had a problem with cornering in the early days because the back end was drifting out a bit. Driving around Sussex was amazing. Classic countryside, and it just brought back so many memories of just driving years ago when my dad used to take us out, driving pretty much the same roads. Absolutely lovely car to drive. Then I could start planning the Miglia, a 1,000-mile race around Italy. I get very excited about trips abroad. It was a very special moment for me. I do think I'm a very lucky person. The Miglia is just crazy. It's Italian. It's, from start to finish, it's just wacky races. They dress it up as being very professional and all of that. It is extremely dangerous in my view. Miglia could be about towns and cars and villages and all of that, but in fact, actually, to me, the Miglia is all about money. I got a golden ticket into the Miglia. It's something I wanted to do. Every aspect of the whole enterprise is all about money. If you've got the euros, you can get whatever you want. Duncan is a very special person. I've known him for a long time. He was my natural choice. He's very precise, very particular. And when it comes to navigating, he was always ahead of me. There was only one occasion where we had any kind of disagreement, and that was when he asked me to turn left, and I kept going, and he said, "What part of turn left didn't you understand?" I think that was towards the end of a 16-hour day, and I think we were both a bit tired.
Doing things like this, where you stretch yourself, where you do things with a great friend like Kevin, it's the shared enjoyment of each other's company. It's such a family-focused event for me, Amelia. I mean, you've got every town and village you go through, you know, the complete families out there, mothers, grandparents, kids, just having a great time.
The car performed very well in the Mille. I was very surprised because we still got the original engine in there from back in 1954. But we took it steady. Our aim was to finish, and we finished ahead of several Ferraris, Maseratis, Porsches, and all these wonderful cars that were behind us. And I thought, you know what? This little AC Bluebird isn't doing too bad at all.
The AC Asica has fallen on its feet being owned by Kevin. I think it's a very strong chance that it would have been gone forever, that story, and probably the car, if Kevin hadn't bought it. But he's unearthed the history, which is actually more important than the mechanics of the car. because it's had such an interesting life. Donald Campbell owned that car, which is well documented. If Kevin hadn't got it, all that history, I'm sure, would have been lost. He is the current steward of that car and chasing the Bluebird connection, which is fantastic. The chassis are identical on the Ace and the Asika. Same wheelbase, same track, everything is the same underneath the skin. This is a Tajiro Climax that was built in 1958. This one was always referred to as the little car because it's got a little 1100 Climax engine in it. I was invited to take it down to a studio to have it filmed. Kevin turned up and asked lots of questions about my father, because he's very interested, obviously, because he has one of his chassis, AC/Todge.
I think just a great piece of history, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you must be proud of your dad and
I
what
am,
he
yeah.
achieved. He tended to hide his light under a bushel.
Yeah,
and,
very much. Yeah.
It's a shame because I think he achieved so much, but never really
Didn't get much
got
recognition.
the recognition.
No.
I feel very proud of what he did on a shoestring and no great formal education or training. He got the idea of stresses in structures from looking at airframes. So he taught himself to do his own chassis drawings, taught himself to weld, and it sort of snowballed.
Well, it was a classic era for British motor racing, wasn't it? Yeah. When you think about it, nowadays, people like McLaren and Porsche and whatever, they'd have an army of designers, technicians, creating something as elegant as that.
When he sold his chassis design to AC and the car ended up at the Earl's Court Motor Show, it was only one of 2 cars that had independent suspension all round. Originally, his chassis were twin tube, and he very much felt that for more power he needed something lighter and stiffer. So this really is the second big step for him. When I originally looked at it, I did pull it to pieces and found it had some very bad chassis damage. The chassis repair is finished and I can start putting it all back together again, which I'm very happy about. I've got a wonderful vision in my head of one day when this is finished, this will be in the paddock of a race circuit. Kevin will pull it up in his AC Asika Bluebird, and we can discuss Father's chassis between us. It's very important to me. I really don't want his legacy to be lost. And it's quite a personal thing.
Goodwood is always special to me. I've been to Goodwood so many times. I've been to all the different races they have, the revival meetings. But the whole atmosphere is absolutely awesome. You know, the marshals and all the formalities you have to go through.
That's a very short straight.
I look at the photographs sometimes. I think, yeah, is that really me driving that car? That was the AC Owners Club sprint race, and I had number 1 on my car, so they put me at the front, and I love it because there I am driving AC Bluebird, and behind me I've got a Cobra, not just 1, 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 behind me, but they had to stay behind me. A few of them I don't think were really happy about it, and a few people who've seen the photograph have said to me, "Kevin, are you winning the race?" I said, "Yeah, I'm right out in front there."
Or another track, but this track.
Derek Bell was amazing. He sat with me, we talked in the car, we talked about the Enstall Classic, which I went on to do. That was a really great experience. Derek took the car out on the circuit, and I thought, well, you know, this is a top man. I'm going to learn something from him.
To me, it would be fun to have got the gas pedal, I know it looks impossible, just an inch closer. And so that when you come off the brake to go back on, I mean, it's a long way down from braking to get back on it.
I learned so much from him in just a few minutes, just spending time with him in my car.
I like it when I'm on the brakes full to actually be level with the gas pedal. so I can roll and heel and toe.
And he was really, really engaging.
The guys who did all the restoration work, I can get them to do that. I think that's a really good idea.
Really was a special occasion. I don't race there now. I've given up my racing license, but it's somewhere I always like to go back to. So I've always wanted to take the car to Claridge's because I discovered that Donald Campbell frequently stayed at Claridge's when he was in London. It was just something I wanted to do, to have that car in Bluebird blue outside Claridge's. I feel connected to Ullswater. I feel quite close to this area. It's very important for me to be here. This morning, it's very calm, it's very quiet. It's the sort of morning where Donald Campbell would have been relishing the moment, the opportunity to go out on the water and try and break a water speed record. It's a special moment. Very pleased I've got here. I appreciate all the planning and everything that's gone into it. Bringing the car back here makes me happy because I know that it would have been here on the 23rd of July, 1955. It was just me for a moment, just being there. Next to the marker stone is a very special moment for me. It kind of completes a circle because the car was here 70 years ago, not parked where it is now, but it was around. It's special to park the car on the slipway, to actually walk on the stones that he walked on, to see the mark that was left for where he launched his boat. And I knelt down and touched the water, thinking, you know, he would have probably tested the water when he was here. Yeah, Donald Campbell's become a big part of my life, and his car has taken over my life. I'm not an emotional person, but I do kind of feel a bit choked up, especially when I had a quiet moment to myself just on the slipway. In the photo album that I have, there's the shed that Donald used, which is pretty much where we are now, the shed at the top of the slipway. And just think that that's all you had as your base for breaking a world water speed record. It was a brilliant opportunity for me.
I'm waiting for the water to rise. I'm waiting for the perfect time to say what's on my mind. I'm down and out.
It's something I've always wanted to do. I've written about it in my book. The car was a big part of his life. He had that car longer than any other car, so he must have enjoyed it. Having it alongside K7, knowing that some paint from K7 is included in the respray of AC Bluebird. It's kind of bring the two together.
I won't break this time.
I was a bit nervous about it, a bit apprehensive about how I might react to it all. I might get too emotional. But in fact, it kind of completed the whole picture. I was glad there were quite a few people there to see it happen. Because, you know, it may not happen again. So yes, that all happened here on this site. We live in a world of modern technology, but a few years ago, you're breaking records from a tin shed. Everybody's been very helpful to get me here.
What was really lovely about that drive, you don't see all the lake. You just see snippets of it. It teases you because you're driving along, you see bushes, you see trees, then there's a gap, and you can see a little bit of a bay, and you can see the water. It's a wonderful experience.
I was thinking about it last night. I want to try and leave some kind of memorial or something, a mark of something. I haven't worked out quite what that's going to be yet, but I'd like to do something.
Base base, Raven, over.
Raven base, go ahead.
We are leaving with 10 passengers and 3 crew, over. When you look at the history of this old girl, 1889, in those days they had the passion to say, if we build a great boat like this, then folk are going to turn up. And it kicked off the tourist industry, and it also meant that everyday folk could see the lake at a reasonable cost. Because it's obviously the anniversary day and we've taken the trouble to mark the measured mile, there wouldn't normally be these two orange buoys on the lake because we try and keep the lake as natural as possible, but clearly today it was useful. The measured mile that Donald chose was between Life's Tower Boathouse, which we'll pass very shortly, you can just see it coming into view on the shore there now, and a place called Dobbinwood Jetty. Ullswater is of course 8 miles long, and when you plot this on a map, there's a great acceleration all the way through from Glencoyne, and a marvellous deceleration right through the gap into Howtown Bay if you're in difficulty. We're just coming onto the sort of line, I think, that Donald would have taken.
Talking with Graham is just incredible. Being on this boat, the Raven, and going along the measured mile, we're cruising along, we're doing like 8 knots, you know. Donald Campbell would be at full throttle and just trying to hold everything together.
Obviously, he had to be doing as high a speed as he could get to as he entered the measured mile. The orange buoy here and the boathouse that you can see along the shore, they'll come into line any second. 3, 2, 1, now. So that is the start of the measured mile, and we are doing exactly 10 miles an hour. It's a bit of a swizz, because what looks like an incredible castle is actually a sort of 1-room thick curtain wall on the front of a farmhouse. It was a shooting lodge for the Duke of Norfolk, so clearly he wanted it to look impressive when you arrived. Well, there aren't any real currents in Ullswater. You will get water movement off the rivers if it's been flooding, because the rivers are coming in at one end and out the other, so the whole lake slowly moves, you know. Donald had a whole fleet of boats, volunteers and so on, who would sweep the lake almost like a police line, you know, and clear any debris from the surface. He would have also had folk out with things like shotguns, just firing them in the air in order to get rid of ducks and wildlife, and then a lot of control came together before it's a case of, okay, it's safe to make the attempt. So we're probably 2/3 of the way down the measured mile now. Donald, when he was doing these records, I was a very small child. He was typically one of my father's heroes. And a lot of what Donald did was very lonely. History remembers the speed record days and so on. History doesn't easily report the 6 months before that, where every nice day they would have done a run. I mean, he couldn't have ran in the conditions we've got now, and that's just a gentle ripple with about a 6-7 mile an hour wind. It would have just been a bit risky. So what we've got here is the orange buoy, which marks the north end of the timing. And if you look in the trees, you can just see a little house there, and a very strange chimney will come into view any second. The two will line up in 3, 2, 1, now, and that's where the timing mark would have gone for the end of it, if you see what I mean. The boat that's passing us in a second, that's a planing boat. And obviously, the bigger the engine you put on that, the faster a boat will go, because, you know, in effect, you're skimming the surface of the water.
He's telling me all about this boat, and it was built 22 years before the Titanic, and it's still running.
Because Raven was a kit boat, obviously they then employed a team of riveters, but they put it together in 3 months on the lakeshore. Because, in effect, there wasn't any work to do other than line plate A with plate B and hammer a load of rivets into it. There's often times in the winter in the past, you know, when I've been grinding off bits of metal and painting around the rivets in the freezing cold on the slipway. And you think, you know, somebody put that rivet there 130 odd years ago.
And it's still taking passengers. I mean, one question I have for him is just how many passengers does he think has been on this boat over the years? It's pretty incredible. For me, just to be able to cast my mind back and think of that day. It was a day very much like this, cloudy. It started bright and sunny, but it was cloudy. The water was black. You know, I've read his book so many times, and he describes the day that he broke the record. And he had to do it on the 23rd of July because the timekeepers were going to walk away. I can't believe that someone would get into a boat and hurtle along this stretch of water at over 200 miles an hour. But of course, Donald Campbell did.
He's away. Just another test run, says Donald. Bluebird's speed indicator can only register 200. But although she's nowhere near flat out, the needle's way beyond the end of the scale. He simply doesn't know how fast he's going. But the stopwatches do, 215 miles an hour. Back again for the homeward run over the measured kilometre. This time Campbell's holding her in, a mere 190, but still a long way over the record.
What the Pathé News reels do show is the power of the machine, the power of the boat on water. And anybody on the shoreline watching must have been awestruck. It must have been really impressive sight.
The final verdict, nearly 24 miles an hour over the old record set up by American Stanley Sayers 3 years ago. A stretch with a block and tackle helps relieve the pain. Campbell has dared death to crash the mysterious water barrier, the critical speed which has already claimed 2 victims. Congratulations from the family and Chief Mechanic Leo Villa. Now the big question, what will Bluebird do when she's flat out with her new engine? We'll be seeing.
You can't fault somebody for having that dream and that passion and just going, I can do this, you know what I mean?
Here, I think, is a kind of happy place. Yeah, I think Donald was always happy here.
He was the only chap ever to hold the land speed and the water speed record in the same year.
£2 million or more has gone into the jet-powered car and the preparations, and 70 British firms have contributed to the cost. At last everything's okay, and the man with the unique combination of courage, patience and determination for the attempt receives the mascot from his wife Tonya. It's a tense moment, but Donald Campbell has known many like it. The huge engine starts up. The first run was successful. Now Campbell hurtles over the salt flats in the reverse direction. To the joy of everybody, a new record was set at 403.1 miles an hour.
And what Donald realised was that British know-how, British engineering, you know, the engines, the build of the boat, the design, all of the mathematics that went into it, everything, was, you know, bringing together almost the finest of the British ability in the day, because it really was a very cutting-edge craft.
There's a lot said about Donald Campbell. A lot of it focuses on his death, his sad ending. But actually, he had a great life. He represented Britain. He was a brilliant engineer. He was a very determined person. I'm kind of numb, kind of comfortably numb in the sense that it's something I've been looking forward to doing. And now I'm here, I just feel lost for words, really, because I can really visualize how Donald was feeling.
And we're doing 10 miles an hour almost exactly, so by now he would have been well on the throttle and accelerating, and basically he would have ended up going past this point 20 times faster than we're about to.
It's pretty impressive. At this point he would be flat out. Donald Campbell would really be at full throttle, and it's quite, well, to me, as I said, it's scary to think that somebody is going at that sort of speed. And what have you got in front of you? A great big mountain, you know, and a hell of a lot of water.
I don't want to climb Everest, but I wanted to get to Ullswater. I'm a very visual person, and I can visualize exactly what I want. And I took my phone out, and I got the photograph that I wanted. I was feeling a little bit special because I've been up close and personal with K7. I've got that, that's mine. It's the conclusion of part of the journey. I'm not sure if the journey is finished yet. The whole experience up in Ullswater, the museum, Ullswater steamers, that was remarkable. And this car is now being filmed. When it's in the right mood, just all hang together very well. You put your foot down on the clutch, it just slips into gear. And what I like about the manual gearbox is that you have to listen to the engine. It's a bit like a song, because you're in control of the car, and you can control the sound, engine noise, the acceleration.
The car sings. I know it sounds crazy, I know I'm a nutcase, but that car sings. When you're going along, it's happy. It's just humming along. It really does sing every time I sit in that car. It's very special to me. Here I am, a guy who lives in Hampshire, having this dream, this aspiration, and we got there. We did it. Okay, I've been reckless in the past. I'm not so reckless now. We finish on Thursday. You know what? If I die on Friday, I might die a happy man, because we have done so much. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Okay, just looking at traffic management, standing by.
Mark it. Take 6, museum. Take 3.
Standing by. We've got a clear road. Moments away, Kevin. And 3, 2, 1, go!
I think back to when the car was derelict. It was dumped in a farmyard down in Devon somewhere, but this is back in the 60s. And this car had trees growing out of it.
We'll just let her warm up for a minute, and then she'll be ready to drive on. I've enjoyed having her. Absolutely beautiful car. And just the general public walking in, seeing something new. Again, it's just really nice, and Mr. Shilling, to share it with people.
So I've had lots of emails from people who've seen the car. That, to me, is what having a car is all about.
Let's see what's here next year.
That was just brilliant.
This is beginning of Wild Track in the museum from the balcony.